So, welcome everybody. This is Benny filling in again for our friend Rob, sending once more live from Berlin, Germany, out of the beautiful Noblego Lounge. Thank you again to the whole Noblego team for having me. And while I was asking Rob, what should be the topic for the last chapter of my little trifecta here, he said Cuban cigars. I said, okay, we can do that. Albeit I'm not a real expert, but I got one for you. And then, but we're going to introduce him in a second. And then, so what do you want to talk about? So what's most interesting about Cuban cigars? And he said, well, how about how to spot fakes? Because there are a ton of counterfeit products in the market, especially when, people coming back from Cuba. And we're lucky because we're in Germany, so this is a legal product here we're from, so where there's no shortage in general. And so this is what we're going to talk about today, how to spot fake Cuban cigar. So if you guys have questions about this, feel free to shoot them into the chat or in the comment section below. And we're going to talk about it. And without further ado, I want to introduce my guest. And I'm really happy to have him here because not only it will help you to get used to Rob's beard, because he has even a bigger beard than Rob. And he's also a big, big fan of vintage ties like myself. Alex Stipčić, sending live from Belgrade in Serbia. How are you doing, Alex?
Very well, thank you. How's things?
Very well. So, and if you don't know Alex, you should check him out on his Instagram, Alex Cigar Dandy,
Correct?
where he has, I think, like 1 million more followers than I do, or anybody I know. And well, Alex, let's just talk about why I brought you on, because as I said, we need an expert for Cuban cigars, and I figured that you're the right person to talk to.
Yes, and I think that's the most important thing, that we disagree right away. Because
All
I
right,
think
thank you for being here. Bye bye.
thank you. Honestly, I think I'm far away to be an expert, because, my opinion is that you have to be at least, I don't want to say 40, but at least 30 years deeply involved into the Cuban cigar industry, not just like an enthusiast, but also as a professional. So you can have a right to call yourself an expert. So I think that
Okay.
somebody who is over 30 or even 40 years into it can call him an expert. And I'm less than 20, so I'm on the half of the way. But I'm on the
Halfway
good way.
there.
I'm
Good.
on the good way.
The good thing is that we act on my definition of an expert, and my definition of an expert is you have to know more than the next best person in the room, and that's me. So that makes you an expert just by design, and
And that's one of the reasons why I smoke alone always.
well, yeah, that and COVID probably now, but hopefully one day will be over, and then we can smoke together. So So what are you lighting up? I'm very curious.
I'm lighting the Medio Siglo, the Cohiba Medio Siglo, which is my
Yes.
new favorite short smoke from Cohiba.
Yes, so that makes two of us, to be honest, because I did the same thing, just because we have half an hour of a show and I try to, stay on top of that game. And also because we will see that Cohiba, because it's one of maybe the most known brand, it's also one of the most counterfeited products that there is in the Cuban cigar world. So let's talk a little bit about yourself. So because I know, even though you don't call yourself an expert, so you managed the Casa del Habano in Belgrade.
Yes, I used to be a general manager of La Casa del Habano in Belgrade back on the days, and also what I see as a let's say achievement is that I've been 2 times in a final in Havana for the Habano Sommelier competition back on the days 2008, 2009. Unfortunately, I never managed to win, because back on the
But
days I
you
was
managed to win was there like a local tryout and you won that and then you went, or how did that go?
no that because this region is very small, so we go directly over there, but
Okay.
we basically didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to be in a top 3 in Havana, because in that moment the finalist been much better than me. So, but I find that as a as a one of the most important steps in my career, to be professional and to get me really tight with the Cuban culture and Cuban cigars. I think
Okay, so that
that's the most
yeah,
important step.
I agree. I agree. So just one sentence about the Habano sommelier competition because it doesn't exist anymore. They now do the Habanos challenge, right? So
They still have the Habanos Sommelier, and they have a Habanos Challenge. So one year it's a Habanos Challenge, and next year it's a Habanos Sommelier. So right now they're kind of trying to figure it out how to manage all that.
okay, so the sommelier championship, if you so will. So you basically get a task of how to, there are a lot of questions on your knowledge about Cuban cigars and the brands and so on and
Yes,
so on.
basically they give you the live situation. So they give you the humidor with some cigars that you don't know. Of course you know, but you don't know which one they're gonna give it to you. They give you the live situation with two people, for example, just finished the dinner. They explain you what kind of dinner they just finished, what they eat, how much time they have, and they give you the cigars. So basically, you're approaching the people, you know, ask them everything, how's well, how was the dinner and all that, and then you start to recommend the cigars and the drinks on the basically on the information they give it to you. So it's salute. So
Always drinking time here in Germany, by the way.
so basically it's very challenging. Then you have the test. Test it's also very important. It's not easy. So but very interesting,
Okay,
competition, very interesting, very challenging. And I think and I
okay,
see
good.
that as a main steps that I make. Before I get into the cigars, I was basically a bartender, a very competitive bartender. I used to win the national championship. Then I went to the Finland in the like in the finals with the 25 bartenders all over the world. I get the second place in the world making cocktails. So basically, that's my background. The cocktails and the spirit. And after that, I enter into the cigar world, and basically, it's helped me a lot to you know because the cigars go well with the drinks, coffee, tea, spirits. Everything that it's dark chocolate, of course. I've been lucky to enjoy the great dark chocolate these days. So
Oh yeah.
basically, all that knowledge I used to, I use it very well to wrap the thing out and to enter into the cigar world, the premium cigar world. And also one of the things that we talk about it, that I used to be the manager in a cigar lounge in Las Vegas for 2 years. That was my jump outside of the Cuban world to see how the things developing over there. And I only have to say it's a great experience, different culture, different cigars, of course, different approach. But I also see that as a very valuable. Uh, I see that as the big value in my steps into the premium cigar. So you have to see the both sides.
True, true. And have you ever been offered Cuban cigars that you thought were fake, or that you knew that were fake? Probably yes, because everybody has, right?
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately,
Yes.
many times. Unfortunately,
So I
many times.
remember like last time, Kolya Kukuk, big shout out to the European manager for Rocky Patel was in Berlin. We were in a bar here in Berlin, and there's still you can still smoke in some of the bars, like even cigars here in Berlin. So that's for Western Europe, that's kind of rare. But in and there was a guy, I remember that, and he's like, you smoke cigars, that's fine. So he gave us an ashtray and everything, and I said, yeah, it's so awesome because I just got back from my friend. I just got bejiques from Havana. Like, oh, really? It's like you went there and you bought a box of bejiques. No, 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 no. They rolled bejiques for him, and it's and they're amazing. And yeah, show me. It's like okay, so you get custom rolled bejiques. You know what? Probably not. So that's and then everybody has a story like this, and this is why when we promoted this on social media, I dubbed this. The working title was "My uncle works in a factory" or "My cousin works in a factory," because that's kind of like the pickup line for everybody who tries to sell you something in
Yes,
Havana, right?
unfortunately, all of the people who buy the fake Cubans all over the world, they have kind of same lineup. Like, I know the friend and his uncle and his cousin work in a factory and all that. And I've been to Cuba 15 times. I spent a lot of time over there, and I never met a guy who have a cousin in a factory.
Well, they probably all have cousins, So, but then it's still very tough to like to just steal cigars like off the table. That's virtually impossible, right? So,
I think that's impossible, and I think that every single cigar that is on the street of Havana or whoever has some connection, it's going to be fake cigar because it's a big. Unfortunately, it's a big market, but the only way you can fight against that, it's the education. For me, and I think that in education in this particular area, it's crucial because it's the only information can put you on the right path. And I mean, I'm not just talking about the fake cigars, also about all the Cuban cigars and all that things around them. The education is the key, and I think the education is the key in many other areas, not just Cuban cigars, also non-Cubans and spirits and all that. So you have to know
yeah,
your product. You have to
yes,
know what
I
you're doing.
agree.
I
I
mean, when people
100%
buy
agree.
when people buy the simplest thing, like a simple thing, they read the manual, correct? They read something, they use it properly and all
I
that.
don't, because I'm a man. Of course, I don't read manuals, but
But you have to know your product. You got my point. So
yeah. No, no, I totally agree. And this is why we're here today. So we want to talk about how to really see, or how to get an idea of what is real versus fake. So what I did at the end is very simple. So I just typed fake Cuban cigars into Google. Or no, fake or real or fake Cuban cigars into Google search engine, and just went to image search and just took off kind of like the first 10-ish pictures that I found interesting. And what I would want you to do with you right now is basically just go through these images and just see, and then have a verdict if it's real or fake, and then really explain why this is a real or a fake cigar. Well, it's probably still a real cigar. It's still a real Cuban cigar, but it's not a legit Cohiba or Monte Cristo. It could probably still be a good cigar, maybe, if you don't have banana leaves in it or anything. But the chances are
I
very high that yeah,
trust me,
because you have to say,
I saw everything in my life. Trust me, I saw a lot of creativity over there.
yes, and then but the chances are that if you buy this as a fake Cohiba, let's say, that you overpaid many, 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 many times. Okay, it doesn't have to be a bad cigar at all, but of course they're trying to get your money. So
But I always, I mean, I always also put we're not talking just about the Cohiba as the most prestigious and the most luxurious brand in the world. That I'm smoking Cohiba, so it's give me the value. I also talking about the health. It's the cigar that didn't have any control of it. You don't know what is inside, and trust me, I see a lot of stuff. And on the
okay,
end of the day, if you continuously smoke those cigars, your health also can be jeopardized. So
potentially.
that's
Let's just jump into the pictures, because I see we're already halfway through our little talk. I think we can talk for hours, but this is kind of like the first image that I found.
okay.
So
This is usually the winner. This is the winner.
this is the winner. I mean, I have a very strong idea about this. Um, so what is it? Is that real or fake?
Yes, I mean we have here on the right side the red one. It's probably the most limited edition that you ever seen. Probably
Yeah,
piece
because
unique.
yeah, because it's not even a Cuban brand that I know. It's something I have no idea what it is. and on the other side as well. So the two outer cigars, I don't even know what the band is. It looks like what is that? Like a Upman or something? Man, I can't even see it right now on the screen.
Yes, but
But
this
it's
is this is like a
so
very, this is the very common thing. And even if we talk about this subject, this subject was in the media so many times, and you have a lot of people talking it and still laughing on this, but this is someone buying. So if you ask me, I mean, this should be your morning routine to see how to look like the product that you don't supposed to buy it. So
yes. So it's 100% fake, because there never was a sampler like this. Yeah, it's one. So if you see something like this, 100% fake. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next image. That one. Oh yeah, that's also a nice one. So that's just a Cohiba to start with. So there's not like a sampler or anything, and it's even a limitada. Oh, look at this. This is a limited edition 2019 Cohiba. So that's pretty darn good. So what do you say? Is that real or fake?
yes, I mean but even look better than the previous one. So, but the glass, the glass top, and all that, it's just horrible. So
Yes. Can we go? Go this one again. So Cuban cigars never have glass tops. In their
correct.
boxes, never ever, and they never have a black box except for the Behique. The Behique has a black box, a lacquered black box. That's kind of like the only one, right?
Yes, and the Grand Reservas also. So
Oh yeah, true. Yes, yes.
so
You see. This is why you are the expert, not me. Okay, and then also good about this one, if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't a Cohiba Limitada in 2019 anyway. So this is
but
100% fake.
I mean, this supposed to cost like if you have a dead 10 cigars inside, this supposed to cost like €1,000. Does it look like you're gonna pay for €1,000? I don't think.
Yeah, no, no, I don't. All right, let's go on to the next one. So that's a little bit tougher. That's a close up of just the bands. So what do you say?
So usually when they make mistake, when they make, you see, we have some hologram here. We're gonna go after these images. We're gonna go through the real one. So
Yes.
so you see it, but as you see here, the
Yeah. Yeah, I have the hologram top and bottom. So you have that
it
here as well. So
it
that's not
looks
bad
like
to start.
it looks like a Christmas tree. And look at this. So they have a hologram, but the Taino Indian hand a little bit escape in one direction. So probably
Yes.
the hologram, it's not the right one. It's just have a couple of colors, but it's still better than the previous one. And what we have here, we have a plastic wrap. We have a bundle. Cohiba
Yeah.
never gonna come in the bundle. So
Yes.
you also have to
Yes.
worry about your package. So I also bring the box of Cohiba to show you how it look like, and never buy the
Okay.
Cohiba in the
So
bundles.
So very interesting. So you say that the little Indian hat that you see right there, the Taino. So this one, you see the white border is not even. So on the one end, it's kind of tilting to one side, and that's a sign that's 100%
Correct.
fake. Also,
Usually the
yeah,
nose touching the quadrats. Usually the nose,
yeah.
it's because over there is the thinner white piece. So
So maybe we can see it here. I'm holding mine in the. I don't know if that's focusing right there. So the nose is kind of. I'm not in the picture. Maybe it focuses. Tough to see, huh? But it's yes. It doesn't do it right there. So that's obvious fake. And also one thing that I see is that the ring, how it's closed on the second one from the right, so the way it's closing on the other end, it's not even as well. So that's also a very good sign that it's probably a fake cigar, right? So
correct. For me, that's like usually always a sign. So each Cohiba, it's as you see, you don't even see the where is the break. You see, you don't see the difference between the left and the right side. It's
yes,
perfectly matched, the quadrants and everything.
yes. Okay, good. So also fake. Ta-da. Aha, so here we have two. Can we zoom in a little bit on this one because it's a little small? Okay, so on the one is real, one is fake. I think that's pretty easy to tell, right? So here, again, you see like the Indian hat, you know how it's the printing is off, all the squares are off, the font is off, it's not embroidered, no holograms, nothing. So
Yes,
that's a really bad.
this one it's really bad. So
Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Aha, there also we have two Monte Cristo now because albeit like 90% of all like counterfeited cigars that come from Cuba are Cohiba. It's not the only one. So you have fake Monte Cristo, fake Romeo and Juliet, and everything, right? So
yes, definitely the Cohiba is the most popular one because it's have a value, you know, that it's easy to check, and the rest of the brands are less popular for the to make the fake cigars. But here we have the two Monte Cristo number two, and so the one it's okay, and the second one it's it's fake, and you can see the way it's rolled. So the one that it's under the so the one that it's on the bottom it's fake. The way it's rolled, you see that the veins on the cigar and the cap it's just not regular, but it's much harder to check the Monte Cristo instead of the Cohiba.
yes, and the band also looks different, obviously, right? But that's
Yes, I mean
kind of with
it's
the shadow.
the band it's sharper, everything,
Yeah.
it's have bumps, so you can feel it under your nail. So it's
Yeah.
but it's I think they will fix the Monte Cristo band too, so they will give it more complicated and more harder to fake. So I think that's gonna
Hmm.
happen soon. It should happen,
Yeah.
just look at this.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Okay. That's an interesting one. So let's zoom in on this. So it looks like a Esplendido, I think, or something like this, and it has the old Cohiba band. So that's an old band before they had all the holograms and everything. This is what is on this. So what's your verdict? Is that
So
what are we looking for?
when we the when you have the old band, it means the cigar is aged. It's already been more than enough time spent in some humidor. So if you find a Cohiba with with the old band, you know, I think you should skip it if you're not if you don't know your source, because the it was very hard to you know to see the fakes. It's much easier because there is no hologram. And I think if you find somebody that smokes the aged Cohiba, you know, he's supposed to know his things. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for a
Yes.
aged Cohiba, you should know your source. And of course, La Casa del Habano and
Yes.
and some of the retails that have a Cohiba atmosphere or whatever. Some retails that you already know that they have a humidity controlled rooms and all that, because the aged cigar, it's a completely different level of of premium cigars.
I agree. So what you say is if somebody on the street is offering you a cigar with that old band, it's very highly unlikely that they really aged that cigar for this long. So how long are we talking? So when did they change the band roughly? Do you know?
That's 2008, I think, or 2012.
Okay.
To,
All right. So it's, let's say, roughly 10, 8, 10 years, something like this.
yeah. So
So this is, yeah.
yes, tell me. Tell me.
Okay, so this is so it's somebody that's putting that cigar away for that long period of time. Is probably not going to sell it to you on the street. That's it's just impossible. Also, if you look here again, the way the band closes, on the back end side, you see that it's not even. So there exactly, you see little
Yes,
exactly.
I mean
So that's always a good sign.
that band, it's very hard to it's you have to know, and you didn't see it for a while, which is also it's
Yeah.
it's not your everyday band of Cohiba that you see. So
Okay. So, but the verdict would be fake. So, oh, this is also a very interesting one. So the next one. So now we talk about the boxes. So here we have two examples of boxes. One is real and one is fake.
Correct.
And you also have a box with you. So what's the fake box to start with?
So the original box, as you see, it's gonna have, of course, the habanos. It's gonna, if you go with the fingers, you're gonna feel it. Hecho en Cuba, hecho en Cuba, totalmente a mano. And then you're gonna have three letters that it's gonna says. I mean, it's a kind of secret, but it's gonna says which factory made this box. And then you have the year of the production, which is, of course, if you want to age it. And for us who like me personally, I like to smoke a little bit aged tobacco, like a 2 years minimum. It says the year and the month of the production. So this is how it's supposed to look like, the original one. And everything, of
Yes.
course, it's on the photos here. It's kind of a little bit tricky, but as you see, the one doesn't have even the month and the code, the factory code. So the everything have to be very sharp, very precise, and it's have to have three letters and the stamp.
Yes, and also it seems like even on the one that has the date, it just seems printed. I mean, it's not very the good picture, So it's it's tough to say, but even that one kind of could be fake, potentially because maybe it's not carved into the wood, burnt into the wood.
Yes, I mean,
But just printed on.
correct. So this is just one of the signs. So when we talk about the box, there is a lot of things that need to be in a good condition. So we are sure that we have the right box with us. So
Okay. All right. I think we have another images of boxes coming forward. So what's the next image? Let's see. Aha, there's another box. Ah, that's a beauty. So you see, you have the date, and you have the factory code and everything. So that's the first time I see it. They just printed it the wrong way, right? So you have to turn it like 90 degrees.
yes, they use the home stamp. So
So this is definitely fake. They just printed it the wrong way onto the box. That's very interesting. Okay. Interesting one. Okay, because here we have some of the seals that really show that it might be an original product. So you have that Cuban seal from the Republic of Cuba. You have the Habano seal, and you have that little piece of paper that's inside. So what do you say?
So this is the one of the most common way how the fake cigars that I saw in my life, all over the world, and this is how the cigars never gonna came out of the factory, and this is just it's disgusting. So don't, if you see everything separate and all that, it's just leave it
Yes.
and say big no.
Okay, so whenever all these labels are not glued to the box, then it's
Correct.
100% fake.
This is
Okay, because it
100%
has
fake.
to be. So show your box again. Show your Cohiba box.
So first, it's sealed, as you see.
Yes.
Government seal. You have the hologram here,
Yes. And
and the
that's
most
always in the
important.
lower left corner, right? That's always in the lower left corner, and the Habanos, the little one, is always in the upper right corner.
Correct. And
So
this is the most important thing, the barcode.
Mhm.
So for me, this is the most important thing when you're buying the new box, when you're buying the, unpackaged box. So you have the habanos.com, the website. You just go over there, you put this number from your barcode, and it's going to show you is it box real or fake. Because each Habano box have the barcode and it's in the system. So it's online basically right away. So
Okay.
you can't miss it. So if you have any doubt, like Alex, I have a box. A lot of people ask me that, Alex, I buy a box and all this. I just says go to habanos.com and there is authenticity check, and you just put these numbers, the barcode, and show you right away. So that's
All right.
100%. So you're 100% sure is it good or no. If is it sealed, have all this and the right barcode, you're good to go. So your box, it's good. You don't have to open it. You don't have to check it and all that. I know that all of us, we like that, but to check our cigars before we buying, open the box. But if the box is sealed, first check this, and this is the most important thing.
Okay, wonderful. So next picture.
Yes,
Aha! It's one of my favorite topics, to be honest.
yes, this is
So,
I always, when I look the cigar, before I look the band, I look the cap, I look the wrapper, and I look the foot. So the cap should have that three caps, the Cubans recognizable style. Then the wrapper, if we talk about the Cohiba, should be silky, should be super smooth, no veins, no nothing. It should be glide like a silk. And the foot, as we see here on the right side, we have the good cigar. On the left side, we have the fake one. Because the rollers that rolling the fake cigars are not the one that are sitting inside El Aguito. In El Aguito sitting the best rollers in the world. So they don't make these kind of mistakes. Each Cohiba, it's very well packed. You cannot see any loose tobacco. You don't see any holes. And you see the tobacco over there, how, it's thick. It's just not good.
all right. So that's also if you see a loose packed cigar, um, especially so whenever you, especially in Cuba, you see that very very commonly, right? So so a good way to go is if you go to the casa and buy original cigars and just compare the way it's rolled and packed, right? So that's one way of doing
Correct.
it.
And the wrapper, the veins are also it's very noticeable that, if you have the big veins in Cohiba, something's wrong. If the surface
Yeah.
is not smooth, something's wrong.
Yeah, yeah, but I have to say, I really also got some really not nice looking wrappers that I've seen in some of the boxes, even like in a Siglo, a bigger Siglo, and it had like sunspots on it. That's still not that often anymore, but there was a time where you had that more regularly. So we have to be fair that this happened. But
Yes,
this is always a good, it's always a good sign. Always a good sign. Okay, next image. Do we have one more image, or is that it? That's it. Okay, perfect. Because I think we also have a question from the audience, if I'm not mistaken. Could a lot of these fakes just be defective products or throwaway sticks from the actual factories? What do the factories do with defective products, Alex?
so as my knowledge, the factory, when they have a defect product, they return it. If there is something problem with the cigar, they return it if they can repack, or they just destroy the cigar and go to the machine made cigars. So they don't throw away tobacco. They don't give away the cigar outside the factory that it's not good. There is no reason to do that, because you have a lot
Yeah.
of minis, you have a lot of Cohiba minis, puritos, and all that. So all that tobacco, it's still premium tobacco. Just something's wrong with the cigar. So the quality control is the one that says, is the cigar ready to be Habano or no.
Okay. That
But
makes sense. So what do you say if you are in Cuba and you want to buy cigars? And so the best way, obviously, is go to an official shop and to buy them there. Right? So that's the easiest and the best way. And they're still a little bit less expensive than in most other countries, but they're not cheap. They're nowhere on the planet they're cheap. Okay, so just don't think that just because you're in Cuba you can have a bargain on a luxury product. Okay, so that's just a dream that everybody has, but it's not true. But I want to talk about one way where you can still get, if you know your way around, very good cigar for, let's say, a reasonable price. It's still not cheap. And that is if you go to the farms directly in some places. And I know that you're a big fan of custom rolled Cuban cigars. And I think you even brought some, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, I have some, my favorite ones. It's a Lancero. This is the Partagas box. Forget about it. I'm just keeping there with my Boveda.
Ah, so you use the 69 Boveda in for your cigars, for your Cuban cigars as well?
Yes, especially during the winter time. So this is the custom
Okay.
roll. This is the custom roll, the farm roll. Let's say the farm roll, to be precise, Lancero.
Yes.
So the farm roll cigars are produced, of course, from Cuban tobacco. You go to some of the farms. The one farm that I recommend, it's of course we have a Robina, Vegas Robina,
Yeah.
and we have a Hector Luis, which is also one of my favorite farms. Over there, you have a small restaurant. You have a guy that rolls cigars on the spot. So you see the tobacco, you see everything, and they have some really nice tobacco. It's completely different than the Habanos. It doesn't have nothing related besides the Cuban tobacco, but the
Hmm.
taste it's just some it's a different story. And I'm the guy who likes to explore. For me that's the most beautiful thing. It's to explore, and that's maybe the reason why I'm into the cigars, because there is so many opportunities, so many different ways how to blend. Each year it's a different crop, so it's just beautiful world. So I recommend everybody whoever go to Cuba and have one day, because you need one day. You need like a 2.5 hours to go to Pinar del Rio from Havana, to pick up some of the plantations and to spend a day over there so they can see the whole process. They can see the tobacco fields. Of course, this year, unfortunately, in the Habanos Festival is canceled in February, but 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 I think right now it's not possible. Maybe next month will be better situation. But whenever you decide to go to Cuba, I think the farms it's something that you must see.
Yes. And
So
it's
Hector,
perfectly fine. They have the right to take a certain amount of tobacco and use this for themselves. Okay, so
yes,
that's 100% fine.
correct. They have a right to keep some amount of the tobacco they roll. You can buy over there. It's not expensive because you can choose some interesting, sizes for decent money. But you always ask, what is the roller? What is your favorite cigar? What are you smoking? The people over there. That's the romantic part. So don't go over there and expect that of course the robusto, the double corona, the pyramides, all those sizes are popular. They're rolling, but I always ask, can you roll me this? Can you put me two ligero leaves inside? So I want something really strong. Can you put me, can you make me a lancero, for example, with a whole ligero leaf to be super packed, super strong, just to discover, just to explore, the beautiful world of Cuban tobacco.
Beautiful, beautiful, and I really like that part. I have to agree,
And the
and
farm
I
that I
also
rec-
like,
and
yeah,
the
the farm
farm
that
that
you
I
recommend.
recommend, it's a Hector Luis. So
Yeah,
I think you can easily find him on Google and all that. It's also have a space for lunch and all that, and I like his place. And he's a great guy, and he's one of the most
agreed.
perspective Cuban tobacco grower right now, I think.
Okay, very good. And just to close up our little round, because I see the clock, we're already almost 10 minutes over our half hour. Oopsie. But hey, Rob, you're not getting the show back. I'm just going to continue until, we fall asleep. No, I'm just kidding. Just one last sentence. So, because you said a really interesting thing. So you said that you store your Habanos with the 69% Boveda, but in wintertime.
Correct. I mean, when
Aha.
it's a winter time, and we all know that it's less humidity inside because the heating and all that, it's very dry. So I like to smoke my cigar 65.
Okay.
65%, it's something what I really prefer. I'm not big fan of 70 plus. That's for me like you know, I never go there. So, but during the winter time, I keep them 69. So when I take my
Mhm.
cigar out, slowly preparing to go out and smoke, you take it out, you go somewhere, chit chat. Before you light it, the cigar already dropped a couple of percentage. The air conditioner and all that, the air, it's very dry. and then when you light it, it's already going to be 65, 66, 67. So it's kind of perfect atmosphere, perfect humidity for my cigar. And I think the Cuban cigar gives the best of her potential when it's like a 50, 65, 66, 67. That's my go-to humidity.
Okay. And
That's
you
why
see,
I use that's why I use the
yes, yeah.
69 during the winter.
Perfect. Perfect. My little heart jumps with joy that you were able to explain it in that manner, and because I couldn't do it better. And if you guys out there, if you're interested in this type of knowledge, just go to the Boveda website, and there's tons of articles that tell you, how to winterize your humidor and what Boveda to use and what conditions. Just check it out. There's tons of good knowledge that is to be found there. Alex, our time is up, unfortunately.
And we didn't even
Unfortunately.
start. And we didn't even start.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So maybe we have to do a second round in another. In what, how many years? You still need 15 years when you're a real expert. So we'll reconvene, and
I
then we
think
talk
I
about
think
because
I
I
will
found it
reach.
already pretty cool. No, thank you, thank you. So this was my last stint here. Thank you very much, everybody. Rob will be back next week, and I was happy to fill in. Everybody, have a good weekend. Thank you all, and Alex, thank you. Hope to see you soon in person again and to smoke a cigar with you very soon.
Yes.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Unfortunately, this pandemic, separate us. But with Instagram and all this social media thing, we are kind of still connected and feel like still part of the family. So thank you very much for
I,
your time, Benji.
That's correct. And people can find you at Alex underscore cigar underscore dandy. This is how they find you. Make sure you follow Alex. He's a great guy and he has the best pictures. He always looks perfect, always perfect. And he has the best vintage ties, obviously. Maybe the second best after me. All right.